Before you say you'll never get hurt, well, every single day, hundreds of people say it can't happen to me, but it does. And the difference between an ugly smash-up and just a nasty shake-up could be simply the seatbelt habit. So before any of us say, it can't happen to me, snap into that seatbelt habit. You know it
received a message from a person called George Chisholm, who then signs himself Paul. Morning, have a happy new year. Support reform, UKIP. You know it makes sense. Paul. And this is on the Trump hotel blast in Las Vegas. So not hugely pertinent to the to the visuals, but you know it makes sense. I think comes from an early road safety. It was a catchphrase of an early road safety campaign in Britain. Road safety campaigns have evolved dramatically over the last few years, reflecting changes in technology, attitudes, public policy. From the early days of rudimentary public information films to the internationally recognised Think campaign, Britain's journey towards safety on the roads has been both innovative and occasionally controversial. In 1926, the UK recorded 4,886 road deaths, a stark number that skyrocketed to 9,196 deaths in 1941. And this prompted the foundation of the Central Office of Information in 1946 to handle government campaigns, including those of road safety. And by the 1950s, the rise in public information films, with their distinctly British blend of paternalism and practicality, saw things like You Know It Makes Sense. This is 1963, which was the first campaign to champion seatbelt use 2 decades before it became law. And in 1967, they were using Batman in Curb Drill to target children with lessons on crossing busy roads. And then it became, I think, Tufty, Look Twice. By the 1970s, road safety messages had shifted towards the use of even more memorable slogans like clunk, clink, every trip. It is not a terribly good piece of copywriting, and its association with Jimmy Savile marked a turning point in public awareness of seatbelt safety. Similarly, in 1978's Think Once, Think Twice, Think Bike urged motorists to consider motorcyclists, encapsulating the growing complexity of Britain's traffic landscape. Shock tactics emerged as a dominant strategy in the 1980s. Adverts like the Funeral Blues and the Cathy Can't Sleep in 1990 used raw emotion to highlight the human cost of reckless driving. These hard-hitting campaigns helped to reduce road deaths, which fell to 5,217 by 1990. The establishment of Think in 2000 signalled a new era. With the decline of traditional media and the rise of digital platforms, campaigns became more interactive and targeted. Think adopted fresh approaches like online crash simulators and fatigue awareness messaging. Initiatives such as Kill Your Speed, Not a Child and the Hedgehog Family addressed more diverse audiences, balancing emotive appeals with practical advice. And while many campaigns succeeded, some faced backlash. The 1995 advert One More Dave controversially portrayed the grim aftermath of drink driving, prompting public complaints. And additionally, the legacy of earlier campaigns like the Clunk Clink or Clunk Click was tainted by Savile's involvement, suggesting a shadow over an otherwise life-saving initiative. The impact of these campaigns is undeniable. Road deaths fell by 46% in the decade following Think's inception, with figures reaching a record low of 3,409 in 2000 alone. But challenges persist. Mobile phone use, drug driving, driver fatigue represent the big modern threats. So as we move forward, the focus needs to be on innovation, inclusive and evidence-based strategies, from virtual reality training to AI-driven monitoring systems. The future of road safety lies in integrating technology with human behaviour, because the message remains timeless. You know it makes sense, and I find it extraordinary to hear that phrase churned out in other contexts, you know it makes sense. It's such a good phrase, and it's a good phrase because it sort of falls on the tip of the tongue, and it's usable, adaptable, reusable. But its origins